Hello, mother. Hello, father. Here I am at Granada.
Hey, welcome to Half the Battle. Well, we're finally getting back to the comic this week.
And we'll be taking a look at issue 63, Going Under.
First though, a brief recap.
Stalker, Snowjob, and Quick Kick have been captured in Barovia when a mission went south and are in a work camp. This was one of those disavowed Mission Impossible type deals, so there will be no rescue attempt. The cover depicts Snake Eyes and Scarlet walking through a minefield. Now yes, this does happen in the comic, it just doesn't look like this. Like, at all. The opening page has Flint, Lady J, Snake Eyes and Scarlet relaxing on a beach in Granada. And there's just a hint of an ass crack on Scarlet there, which I'm pretty sure they snuck in.
As I don't think that kind of thing was allowed back then.
They discuss the captured Joes and the fact they can't go after them, something that upsets Snake Eyes. I think it's hard to tell with that guy. We switch to Barovia, where we're introduced to some characters.
And some racism.
There's Sergeant Mushev, who insists, just read it yourself, it's used as a slur here, so I don't even want to say it. And Corporal Olga, who only appears briefly in this issue, so I'm not gonna talk about her now.
But boy is there a lot to unpack there.
So Stalker is on logging detail, while the others are gonna make fake souvenirs for tourists. The rules are explained to them. If somebody slacks off, their whole section is beaten. If somebody tries to escape, their whole section is shot.
Sort of like working at Twitter right now.
The Joes are put with Boris, who has a section all to himself, because he's a snitch apparently. The racist sergeant enjoys taunting Stalker, saying he hopes he makes a run for it, as he's a national long-range shooting champion.
The comic then switches scenes so jarringly, it gave me whiplash.
As we check in with Billy and Jinx at the Defense Language Center in San Francisco. If you want to know what their deal is, watch my reviews of the previous issues. I ain't going into all that again. They have been followed there by, Raptor.
Great to see that guy again.
The booth he's in is actually an elevator that brings him to Hawk, Law, and Chuckles, who want to talk to him about the Avengers Initiative. His future. The comic jumps topics again, but I'm just gonna handle most of the Billy stuff now. He tells them everything that's happened since he last met one of the Joes, and Hawk asks him to meet two other people, Storm Shadow and Ripcord. He tells them that the Softmaster and Candy, Ripcord's girlfriend, are dead.
Yeah, they died 20 freaking issues ago.
I'm not sure how long that is in story time, but it has to be months and months. Jeez, poor Ripcord. Okay, I'll deal with the vacation stuff next instead of skipping around.
I should have done that from the start, really.
They're heading back to the hotel when a friendly blind man asks them for help getting to the airport. Though Flint responds, he takes the arm of Snake Eyes and they head into the tall grass with Scarlet. Unfortunately, Flint realizes a little too late they're taking a leisurely stroll through a minefield. Because of that, there's a big-ass explosion that leaves nothing but a burning crater.
No, I mean that literally.
When the field is checked, they find no traces of any bodies or clothing or anything. Yeah, mines don't work that way, so something must be up. Storm Shadow seems to agree, as a ninja wouldn't just step on a mine. Plus, he knows the blind guy. And that's all we get to know about that for this issue.
So, to be continued.
Back at what I guess is the main plot, even though the cover showed Snake Eyes and Scarlet, Barovia, Stalker is back from work detail and gets a nice helping of, pink goo for dinner. Though it changes to a hunk of bread with no color in the next panel. I know it's a small thing, but it's a little irritating. He starts talking escape plans straight away, which is a bit of a problem as good old Boris is right there. Now, to be fair to Stalker, he didn't know about Boris, but still, he should have been a bit more cautious. And sure enough, they get ratted out, though he fingers Snowjob for some reason, even though Stalker did most of the talking. So he gets taken away for a beating, with Stalker unable to help, since any resistance will lead to Snowjob getting shot.
Boris, making friends and influencing people.
And that's it for the main stories in this comic, though there are a few pages more that aren't really relevant in this issue, but will be important for the overall story later, so I'll briefly go into them now. Raptor tries to contact Fred, but he's off on his way to his destiny. Fred was the guy who shot and killed Cobra Commander. Remember that? It's been a while. He heads for the harbor to charter a boat to take him to Cobra Island.
To be continued.
Lastly, somewhere in Utah, a whole bunch of Joes come streaming out of some barracks to play tag football, something that doesn't go unnoticed by Cobra. Oh yeah, Cobra still exists, though you could barely tell by this issue. They also noticed that facility Billy went into.
Once again, to be continued.
And that was Going Under.
It was a pretty great issue.
Several plot lines are moving along nicely and are even starting to come together, so you know they're building up to something pretty awesome. The cover lied to us, of course, with Snake Eyes and Scarlet being in full uniforms and armed, you know, like they were on a mission instead of on a vacation. But I understand why they changed it, as this image is pretty iconic.
So I guess I don't have any real complaints about this issue.
One interesting little tidbit is that this comic references real-world events that were recent at the time, as the vacation spot is in Grenada, and they mention the American intervention that took place there a few years prior, giving it the thumbs up.
Kinda weird, but there you go.
Overall, a great issue that I'm sure will lead to even greater things. Too bad that this was the last time we'd ever see Scarlet and Snake Eyes, as they are both now very, very dead.
What? Oh, I've been told not to worry, as they'll get better. Well, I'll see you next time, everybody. And hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing?
Hello, mother. Hello, father. Here I am at